The life of Nelson Mandela. Hello, dear learners. Welcome back to our channel, where learning English becomes an unforgettable journey. Today, we will begin the incredible life story of one of the greatest leaders in history, Nelson Mandela. This is not just a story, it's a journey of hope, courage, and determination. Listening to this story will help you improve your vocabulary, pronunciation, and listening skills, but more than that, it will inspire you to dream big and never give up, no matter how difficult life gets. So, get ready for one of the most powerful and motivational stories you've ever heard. Let's begin the journey of Nelson Mandela, a man who changed the world. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18, 1918, in a small village called Mvizo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. His birth name was Rolihlahla Mandela, which means pulling the branch of a tree in the Xhosa language. Some also say it means troublemaker, a name that reflected his boldness in challenging injustice. He was born into the Thembu royal family, a tribe known for its rich culture and history. His father, Gadla Henry Mfakaniiswa, was a respected chief and advisor to the Tambo king. Though Mandela's family wasn't wealthy, they were highly respected in the community. His mother, Nakafai Fanny, was a devout Christian who taught him kindness, humility, and the importance of faith. Mandela's childhood was simple, yet filled with joy. He lived in a hut made of mud and straw, surrounded by open fields and rolling hills. There were no modern luxuries, but Mandela felt free and happy. As a child, he loved running barefoot in the fields, herding cattle, and swimming in the streams. He played traditional Xhosa games with friends and listened to stories shared by the elders around the fire at night. These stories often featured brave warriors and leaders, igniting a spark in young Mandela's heart. One day, his father told him that a true leader is not someone who seeks power for themselves, but one who serves their people. This wisdom stayed with Mandela for the rest of his life. When Mandela was just 9 years old, tragedy struck. His father passed away. This was a devastating loss for the young boy, but it marked a turning point in his life. After his father's death, Mandela's mother took him to live with Chief John Ntaba, a royal leader of the Thembu people. Chief John Ntaba welcomed Mandela into his home as if he were his own son. It was here that Mandela first saw a world beyond his small village. He lived in the chief's palace, where he observed meetings and learned about leadership and responsibility. At the age of 7, Mandela began attending a local Methodist school, where his teacher gave him the English name Nelson, as was the custom for African children in schools. Although Mandela didn't understand why he needed a new name, he accepted it and focused on his studies. He quickly became a diligent student, eager to learn. His favorite subjects were English literature, geography, and history, especially stories of African heroes who fought against colonial rule. Mandela often said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." As Mandela grew older, he became more aware of the injustices around him. South Africa was ruled by apartheid, a system that kept black and white people separated in every aspect of life. Black people were not allowed to vote, own land, or even live in the same neighborhoods as white people. Mandela could see the unfairness everywhere. At the age of 16, Mandela participated in a traditional Xhosa ceremony where boys became men. During the ceremony, the elders spoke about manhood's responsibilities and also expressed their sadness over the state of their people under apartheid. Mandela felt a deep sense of duty to fight for justice and equality. When Mandela was 19, Chief John Jintaba arranged for him to marry. However, Mandela had different dreams. He wanted to continue his education and make his own choices, so he made a bold decision. He ran away to Johannesburg. There, he discovered a very different world. The city was vibrant but full of challenges. Black people worked hard for little pay and lived in poor conditions, while white people enjoyed wealth and privilege. Mandela worked as a night watchman at a gold mine while continuing his studies. He lived in a small, crowded room and often went hungry, but he never gave up. He believed education would open doors to a better future. Mandela eventually enrolled at the University of Witwatersrand, where he studied law. He was one of the few black students at the university and faced discrimination, but this only made him stronger. During this time, he joined the African National Congress (ANC), a political organization fighting for the rights of black South Africans. Mandela's dream was to build a South Africa where everyone, regardless of their race, could live together in peace and equality. This dream became the driving force of his life. In Johannesburg, Mandela rented a small room in one of the poorest townships and worked as a clerk in a law firm. The job was demanding, but it gave him a chance to learn about the legal system and how it was used to oppress black South Africans. He spent his evenings studying by candlelight, determined to finish his law degree. His hunger for knowledge was unstoppable. Mandela's speeches were powerful and passionate. He spoke about justice, equality, and the need for action. People admired his courage and vision. One of his most famous lines was, "It always seems impossible until it's done." While working with the ANC, he met a beautiful and intelligent woman named Evelyn Toko, a nurse who shared his dream of a better South Africa. They married in 1944 and started a family. In 1948, the South African government introduced new apartheid laws, making life even harder for black people. Mandela helped organize peaceful protests, strikes, and marches. He believed in nonviolent resistance, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. However, the government responded with violence, arresting and killing protesters. Mandela himself was arrested multiple times, but he refused to give up. In 1952, Mandela and his friend Oliver Tambo opened the first black law firm in South Africa. The firm provided free or low-cost legal help to black South Africans who were victims of apartheid. Mandela continued to work tirelessly for justice. In 1960, a tragic event changed the course of Mandela's life. During a peaceful protest in Sharpeville, police opened fire on the crowd, killing 69 people. This massacre made Mandela realize that peaceful protests alone might not be enough. He helped form a secret armed group, Umkhonto we Sizwe, which aimed to sabotage government structures upholding apartheid. Mandela became a wanted man, and after being arrested in 1962, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. Despite his harsh conditions in prison, Mandela never lost hope. He spent 27 years in prison, during which he became a symbol of hope for millions. In 1990, Mandela was released. He was 71 years old, but his spirit remained unbroken. He worked towards peace and reconciliation in South Africa and became its first democratically elected president in 1994. Mandela's legacy is a testament to the power of hope, perseverance, and the belief that one person can change the world.